Hi everyone. All right. Welcome to this space if you're new here. Welcome back if you're returning. Okay, I want to wish everyone a happy birthday this month. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, right? Happy being born. Happy finding your way through the darkness into this space. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so before your reading, I was outside with Zumi and I heard something off to the side. It was a really mild sound, just like a little tiny snap of a branch. You know what I mean? Like a little twig. Could have been a twig out of a tree, could have been whatever, but I look and it was a fawn. Not without it. It didn't have its spots anymore. So, and it was without its mother. It was on its own. But it ran through the neighbor's yard, and then luckily wasn't hurt. And then kind of ran up into the woods in the front. And then Zumi and I went to go see where it went, and couldn't see it. But on our way back, it was coming back through, and then basically this side, like where I live, is like the safe side. You know, it's like there's nothing really that can hurt. There's nothing that can hurt anything on this side. You know what I mean? So I felt good that it avoided, danger, and found its way. There was it was a little bit of like back and forth for a second. And sorry if the energy, say vocally, comes out intense. I realized with Mars being through Gemini, it causes a person to speak faster and a little harsher, a little more masculine. So excuse me if it's the energy of it. So when deer shows up, I always feel like they're very highly attuned, and they have like an acute sense of awareness, right? Like we said in the beginning, they have this ability to be able to pick up on these little tiny sounds, right? Sounds, scents, shadows, little tiny differences in the shadow or in the light. Like, ooh, it just got a little bit darker, or like, ooh, it just got lighter there. This shifted. Now, this can be very helpful because you can pick up on some things so you can protect yourself. But with deer, I always find, in addition, that like sometimes they're really on guard. Now, for some of you, this could be for good reason, right? Where you're like, okay, I need to pay attention, to make sure that, again, things are safe, right? But I guess if you're in that pay attention mode and you are feeling a little anxious, maybe you just want to remind yourself that you are safe and loved and protected, right? It is no less a miracle that you were even alive at this point in time. Think about it. All the things you've been through, right? It is no less. There have been many, many, many miracles in your life, right? Again, why you're even just here and alive. So happy being alive. A few questions that kind of come with the deer too are, it's a good time to be gentle with yourself, right? And as much as possible with others. And you want to see if you are trying to force things, or if others are trying to force things, and you want to check in if you're being too critical on yourself. To me, a lot of times, deer relates to Virgo, for me personally. It's almost like Virgo and Saturn together. So sometimes there can be like this really harsh, like, even if it isn't there's a lot of integrity when the deer sits in Virgo energy. You know, it's kind of like you beat yourself up for something, even if you did the right. We're in Libra season. Even if the balance was like, okay, well, yeah, I know I did this, and you know, this is partially my fault, but like almost beating yourself up too much versus understanding how the other person played a role too, because that's really important, right? We need to be aware of, again, that acute, very high awareness of what's going on and then how to handle it. Okay, so let's look at your cards that came out first and foremost. Well, the ones that showed themselves say this. There's like a proper level of defending oneself. Okay, you want to make sure you're at a proper level of defending yourself. That which you love. Proper level. Right? If there's an actual threat, protect yourself. Stand up for yourself. Make a really strong boundary. Let someone know that you're not willing to, that whatever's going on between you and other people is unacceptable, okay? If you've already had that conversation, then I actually see that success comes from that, but only if you do not discuss it any further with that person, right? It's almost like you speak your mind, you stand up for yourself, you communicate about it some way, somehow, in such a way where you're just like, hey, this is just unacceptable. Not like, fuck, you know, not the mad thing. That doesn't work. It's like standing your ground out of integrity because you know from your past experiences that this would actually be something that is not cool. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, dude, no, not cool. And not even just not cool for you, like not cool for the whole. You know, again, if that's the case and you've already had the conversation, don't pick at it anymore, because then you'll make another fight. And actually see if there has been any, what's this one? Just a minute. Well, the center card here speaks of success, okay? It also speaks of rest, though. Like, rest and success are in the same place, meaning you've made it this far. I guess, okay, those of you who stuck up for yourself again, this has to do with your 7th house. This has to do with your descendant, which is, to me, in your map is like, been there, done that. Been there, done that. I'm good. Been there, done that. So many times, right? It's not even 1, 2, 3 times. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Because if you go to 8, then you're just going to infinity back to the beginning and then be more mad at yourself that it even happened because you allowed it to happen. Do you know what I mean? If you feel like you cannot defend yourself or you need help, you know, sometimes with confrontation, right, challenges like this, we're in Libra time, we're talking about us and other people. That's the ultimate essence of it, is we, not I, but we. You know, how does this affect the group? Again, how does this affect the whole? And you want to find the positivity in that as much as possible, right? The positivity, the practicality. Saturn is exalted in Libra. So, again, we're talking too fast, aren't we? So there's emotion in it too, right? So you got all red cards here. So we're talking about fire and water. This is Sagittarius energy. That's the Temperance card, right? So they say. This card represents a virtue, temperance. Should we read what that means? Should we look up the true definition of temperance? People say this all the time, right? Oh, temperance. But we don't talk about what it really means. Just a second. I love you so much. I really do hope you have a good month. You're going to be fine, okay? You're going to be just fine. You are going to have to keep your patience, though. I can tell that. Sea bass, self-determination, self-destructive. Which one? Don't fall short. We need to go to T's, right? Solution, we'll take that. Staircase, all right, moving up in something. Right, don't get stung, so maybe something with Scorpio too. Let's see, we're looking for temperance, right? Telly, there's your transmission over a distance, right? Okay. Then we're talking about the tide. We need temperance. Pisces, the Scorpio Pisces. Maybe you want to ask Spirit for protection too, or strength if you need it, right? Maybe some of you need courage in your relationships right now. Maybe you need to have courage and creative resolve for just keep seeing someone with tools. Temperance. Excuse me. Temperance. Temporal, template, Templar, temple, temperament, temperance. Okay, number 1. It is moderation or self-restraint in action. Okay? Let's read this again. It's moderation or self-restraint in action or your statement, like words, expression, etc. Self-control. That's temperance. Self-control. Because we can only control ourselves. I know it's so hard sometimes, right? And then I saw the word temper. Number 2, habitual moderation in the indulgence of a natural appetite or passion, especially in the use of alcoholic liquors. Number 3, total abstinence from alcoholic liquors. Interesting. So what we're looking for here to find temperance is a sober mind, right? Sober, you need sobriety. You don't want to, because what does alcohol create? For instance, just as a general thing, it creates a lack of, you lose all your inhibitions, right? That which inhibits you from doing the wrong thing, the stupid thing, the saying the thing, doing the thing, right? Again, temperance, your self-restraint in action or words, statement. Alcohol also causes emotional outburst, right? It causes someone to not be as quick on the draw, right? That's going to interrupt the deer. So I would keep very clear this month. And even if you just occasionally drink, maybe it would be best not to, right? Or if you're dealing with anyone who does drink, I would, I don't know. You got to, when it comes to other people's... at very least, have self-control with your involvement of things, right? Let's choose one more word for good measure. Inspiration. Inspire. Good. What's inspiring to you right now that's in your life? I want to choose an extra card in each one of these just to see. There could be a little bit of a conflict with, you're kind of starting at someone's starting at square one with something, Someone could also be a little bit discouraged with their relationships, where they're kind of just like, maybe it's one of those things where you're like, no, no, I'm not taking, I don't want to date you again, or no, like, I don't feel the same way that I did before, or, like, it's not about being unloving, it's about being honest. Maybe that's something you want to think about. Putting something on, if someone's putting something on hold, it's almost like you want to trust yourself. Again, I know sometimes it's hard to not say, like, or express yourself when you're stressed. And when people are stressed, overworked, underpaid, whatever it is, up against something that they feel like they can't change, sometimes this can cause defensiveness, right? It can cause people to be snappy. So if this has to do with you and other people, just remember, keep your cool, because the person... All right, my friend Sandus' mother always says something. Let me try to remember the saying correctly. Something about, like, the barking dog. The dog that barks, right, is the one that's the asshole. In short, I can't remember. It's something clever and Southern, but, like, there's something about that. Like, the barking dog is the problem, right? It's not, say someone's like, bah, 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 and you're just keeping it cool. It reminds me of the hawk and the crow. Keep her cool. Keep her cool. It shows strength like that. Okay? And this is what moves on over into success. This has to do with the iris also. Okay, how you succeed during this month, the most way that you can keep your karma in the right place, that you can do well with your job, you can make sure that your health is good, is things of this nature. Work is good, right? Is that maybe you just want to keep aware of what the creative resolve of the situation is, right? And to feel confident in yourself. You want to feel confident. Because if you don't feel confident and you end up in a situation, whatever it may be, it's just going to reflect badly on you, right? So I want you to feel good about yourself and how smart you are, and how, I don't know, how much you can handle, but also know how much you can handle. You have to know that, because if you push it too much, because there's a lot of fire backing this energy. You have 5 fire cards, which is about overcoming a challenge, and that's good. And you have that card here too. So it's a quintuple emphasis of this. But this is all coming, this fire, right? Like that temperance, it's fire and water. To keep that fire in the right place, so it's just warm water. So you're warm, so that the water is warm. So it stays in this nice, not tepid, but like in this good place. You don't get burned, no one else, you don't scald yourself, etc. Maybe you just want to remind yourself again that you are safe and loved and protected. Okay? It is, I see again, it is nothing less than a miracle that you are even here and alive. Right? You have experienced many, many, many miracles. Maybe you just want to feel about that, think about that. How gracious, I don't know, God's glory is, or like mercy. And I see your ability, again, to handle situations, right? Self-control. Let's see this last one. Okay, if you are having disagreements with anyone else, at least in this time frame, those are not going to change. There's not going to be a resolve for it. You can't talk it out. You can't do it for them. It's not helpful to have an argument about it. Like, it's like people are stuck. You know what I mean? Now, if you're in a position where you understand, okay, well, I can't change that, but what can I do? Again, inspiration, creative resolve, trying to just handle it so that you are protected, right? Because I keep sort of seeing the Seven of Wands energy in a positive way. It's like, no, I've worked really hard to be here. I've already been there, done that. I'm not doing this again. Like, just aware. Then what happens is that whatever the challenge is that you need to, the inspiration that you need, the creative resolve that you need, it's all right there, and you actually can create a means of protecting yourself long term, which is really cool. Like, you may not be able, again, to change the other person or something, but you will be able to feel stronger in yourself, like, okay, wow, I did that, you know? And instead of, because you know what, this energy that just showed up, whoa, I don't, how do I explain this? Oh, it's in the reverse, thank God. Okay, good. Remember what we said earlier? Like, okay, this is dangerous over there, right? This is safe over here. It's like a line, right? You gotta know not to cross that line. You got to watch that line, right? If you're close to it for some reason, you want to just be aware of what's going on, okay? This will ensure that you don't involve yourself in anything dangerous, and that you will have, again, more of a security or stability in addressing the challenge in a way that is mature. It also helps your, like your ability to, whatever you're growing, wherever you're growing in your own self-development, especially of your communication and how you deal with your feelings. It's like this air, water world. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because whoever the one, okay, remember this too. People that get on the defense vocally, right? Be like, I didn't do that. It's your fault. No, 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 no. Like this kind of shit, like just projecting. Whenever someone gets defensive, even if you just ask like a basic question, like, hey, have you seen the broom? You know, or da-da-da, whatever the basic, obviously honest thing is. Like God knows, right? He's always watching. It's just like whoever gets on the defense is not telling the truth, right? They know that there's truth there, but they don't want to admit it, so they get on the defense. So I guess just remember that in ways of communication, okay? And if someone is on the defense, just try to be as cool as possible. And if this is you and you get on that, try to keep yourself as cool as possible, because this is the thing. If it's true, if it's honest, if the intention is actually pure and for the greater good, then someone could be emotional, but there's a difference between I'm concerned and I'm pissed off, or like I'm defensive, because it usually expresses like a kind of guilt for a bad behavior, right? Like, I would definitely keep your nose a bit to the grindstone this month. Like, not exactly keep your head down. Don't put your head in the sand or anything like that. But it's like, focus on your Focus on what you need to do. Focus on your own self-control. Focus on how you can, again, what the creative resolves are for the issues that you are facing. And if you can't seem to come up with one ultimately, like we're in Libra season again, like a compromise kind of way, then just, again, emphasis here of you come up with what is that resolve for you? What is it for you? What do you need to do to make sure that you are protected? You know? Because you don't have to, you don't have to wait till the shit hits the fan to make a boundary or to make plans about the future. Do you know what I'm saying? No. You already been there, done that. Right? Yeah. Holy, holy, holy. Oh my gosh. I'm so sore today. My body feels, I don't know if it's astrological or what, but like the weirdest parts of my body are like so tense. Maybe it's this, I don't know, maybe it feels like stress in my body right now. So maybe you just want to stretch that out, right? Maybe get a little bit of exercise if you can, or at least like, remember stress comes in and it's almost like our bodies hold it and we have to move it. Scorpio talked about this, like when an energy is there and we leave that, that energy, that situation leaves, the energy stays, we have to shift that energy or allow it to a place of release or some way to move it. If we don't, then it's, we can get all stuck in our head, which goes down into our body and that affects our health, right? The health of our body. So, right. They always say it this way? It's like the mind, the body, and the soul. It's probably the order it goes in, So, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I would definitely keep focused on some real practical things. You had all that fire, use that fire right. You know what I mean? Use that energy correctly. And again, I see the words creative resolve. Yep. That's right. Okay. I love you so much. I do hope this was helpful. Again, I'm sorry. I can feel like how fast the energy's coming out. Even if it's Mars and Taurus sidereally, it's still like Mars here really fast. So they're both communication zodiacal signs. So excuse if it went a little faster. Maybe we're just pushing through to prep ourselves because Mars will be doing some interesting things the middle of this month, and I guess we need to prep for it so that we, are more ready or feel more confident. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I, again, hope this was of service. I always appreciate and really enjoy walking together, so thank you. Wow, I feel like you'd think in Libra time it would be all like balanced and chill, but like it seems to be, I don't know if it's again astrological, but there's something where it's just like, it's almost like Libra's getting a set of balls, and just being like, well, nope. And moving on in a really loving way, moving forward in a loving way, because there's faith in that, All right. I love you so much. Thanks again. I hope you have a good month. Happy Halloween. Happy birthday. Talk to you later. Peace.